All right, fellow XRP holders, how you doing? Thanks for giving me a few minutes. Thanks for watching. So, if you own any XRP, it's the question we're all asking ourselves. When will the pain end? When will we start to move back up? When will we start to go back in the right direction, i.e. the green direction? Now, right now, we're not experiencing a huge amount. We're actually down 1.5% as of the recording of the video. The market is down 1.89. Fear and greed index has started to move even more towards that red fear, uh, the dark red fear component instead of the orange. We're moving probably, and we probably will be dropping into that red if we continue to see the market dynamic as we are looking at it now. Okay, so but when will this end? When will we see some relief and start to go the other way? In fact, in the last 24-hour cycle, we've seen XRP, actually it's at its low on the 24-hour cycle, but yesterday we did hit 208, $2.08. So to kind of really bring this home and talk about this, the pain for us as XRP holders, for us as crypto holders, will end when the control of the market is relinquished from the bears, because the bears 100 million% have control right now. And when people from a bullish standpoint decide to get off the sidelines, really, that's really what we're facing. Okay, now what's stopping us? I think there's a myriad of reasons. I'm not going to be able to list all of them. Government shutdown, uncertainty around the Fed, what they're going to do or not going to do in December, ultimately fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the minds of, I think, a diverse cross section of investors, whales, maybe even some institutional investors, as well as retail. Everybody has developed this wait and see attitude, this wait and see model, because I don't think that people really know/believe what the bottom will be. How bad will it get? I've been talking about this for a while. If we see Bitcoin drop below 100,000, stay there for a day, 2, 3, 4, I think that's going to create a cascading effect, because that $100,000 number for Bitcoin, yes, I know this is an XRP video, but again, it's all tied, right? It's going to create an emotional pain event if we see Bitcoin drop below that and stay there. Now we haven't. Bitcoin did drop to $98,990 in the last 48 hours, but it immediately bounced back up. Okay. So where does that leave us? It leaves us in this continued kind of no man's land as it relates to the price action for XRP and for all of crypto. And if you kind of look, in fact, I just just to kind of see what Google's AI would give me, kind of as far as key factors contributing to the decline right now. We got macroeconomic headwinds, persistent inflation, and hawkish central bank policies have been cited as contributing factors. I've already mentioned both of those, right? The fear and uncertainty around inflation, people's dollars simply not going as far as they used to, and obviously what the Federal Reserve is or is not going to do. The uncertainty around that. Are they not going to, or are they going to give us a rate cut in December that we were promised? So that's been somewhat taken off of the table. Again, I mentioned this at the top of the video, kind of waning institutional interest. What that really means is that, which makes sense, right? The overall market has been moving down. So you've got spot Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF, the ETFs. We've got outflows going on right now. We've got over leveraged positions, things of that nature. People have moved money into stable coins. I've been talking about this a lot in videos. People move money into stable coins. Why? Because stable coins are safe. They're pegged to a dollar. There is hundreds of billions of dollars sitting in stable coins. And that's, in essence, people who their decision is to not make a decision right now, meaning they're waiting. Okay. And so there's just all this capital, this investment capital tied up in stable coins. And again, regulatory uncertainty because of the government shutdown. Everything I mentioned at the top of the video, ironically, is what Google's AI that goes out and does a search across 10, 15 different sites looking for these bullet points, all have touted, which brings me back to, I mentioned all these at the very top of the video. Okay. So it leaves us in this place, guys, as XRP holders from an XRP news standpoint, where we're going to have to continue to ride this proverbial ride out and just continue to see where it takes us. Okay. It's not necessarily a good news scenario here. It's not a bad news either. I think we still got a bull run ahead of us. I think it's just been delayed, not canceled. I think we need government shutdown to end. Now, President Trump is supposed to be talking to the nation today. I don't know if I'm sure he's going to talk about that. I just saw a deal today that the FAA is reducing the number of flights in the air. There's going to come a point where it's going to be a breaking point when you can't travel and get on a plane, in essence, as one thing, and SNAP benefits are ending. Just a whole, obviously, we all know there's a lot of different components that have been impacted. Obviously, our world, the ETFs have all been delayed, especially the XRP ETFs, because of the government shutdown with the SEC and so forth. Okay, so I think the government shutdown is now a massive component of this, and it's really halting a lot of forward momentum and forward progress. If we can get resolution to that anytime in the near future, then that's going to help, right? And then the other major thing we got to take off the table is what is or is not going to happen with the Federal Reserve in December. The problem is that they kind of stuck a knife in our side, if you will, and introduced a lot of uncertainty into the market between now and when the Federal Reserve has their meeting in December, which really honestly sucks because we need positivity in the market to bring back investment capital, to have investment capital rotate back into the crypto market. Because right now it's other places. It's in AI, it's in AI stocks, it's in tech stocks, it's in mutual funds, bonds, so forth, so on. Okay, so it leaves us in a place of, hey, it is what it is right now, and we need some of these things to change on a macro level. So, oh, you guys see that squirrel right there above my head? Look, did you see him? There's a squirrel. He lives in that tree right there. So you saw his little tail. All right, I appreciate you giving me a few minutes. Thanks for watching. As always, I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next video.